Welcome back to week 11 of my chase for a 230-yard carry with the driver. I'm recording on Monday morning because I usually try to do these on the weekends, but my weekend got a little bit out of control, if you will. Just a lot going on. So here I am recording on Monday morning. So this will release on Tuesday instead of Monday, which I've been trying to be consistent with. But here I am. So the question this week is really for me, tee it high or tee it low? I'll get into that here in a little bit. That was kind of a question that I was asking after some experimenting, not this last week, but the previous week. And I noticed a lower tee seemed to help a little bit. So I experimented with that a little bit, and I'll get into that here further down in the update. The key takeaway for me this week here really is that my swing speed continued to progress. I'm not going up like a lot, but I'm seeing more swings in the mid 90s to pushing 100. Not quite hitting 100 that often, at least not at home with my Garmin. But I was definitely hitting that last time up at Back to the Tee. So I'm kind of curious. I'll be up there again on Wednesday meeting with Wade to see what my swing speeds are there. So really, though, some of the other things that I've looked at here this week is I have to practice consistently if I want to develop a consistent swing. So that's something I'll get into here as well. I just had a little bit less consistency this week just due to things going on in life. But really, my memory and calendar challenges this week may have negatively impacted my progress. So not horribly. The swing speed was up, but my distance, as you'll see here, kind of went down in the week. Even my swing speed went up. So something in my swing that's causing that face impact, things like that, most likely. But anyways, enough of that. Quick reminder on what my goal is here, what I'm seeking with this chase for 230. As a reminder, I've chosen this goal for the off season. So for the winter from January to roughly May 1st, is to put myself in scoring position with shorter irons more often than I did last year. I have more confidence with my 7-iron, 8-iron, that sort of thing than I do the higher clubs, which I'm guessing a lot of people do. So I just want to be able to use those more often. So that's really kind of where that goal comes from. I don't intend to ignore other aspects of golf, such as my short game. However, the driver distance seems most important to me, so that's what I'm working on. That's what this chase for 230 is all about. And this is week 11's update. So with all that, let's look at the results. And I'm going to actually share my screen again this week, see if that will help me out a little bit. So now what I'm looking at here is my weight. So I'm going to move some stuff around on my screen while I do this. So pardon me a little bit. But last week I was at 213.9 pounds. This week I ended at 214 on the dot for my average. So up just a little bit. And honestly, I don't know what all led to that. I knew this would probably be my biggest struggle, but there was days where I felt that I did everything right and my weight went up. So I don't know. I'm not qualified to answer that one. That's just what happened. So that's the weight. Swing speed. So this is going off my best 20 swings here for the week. So I did a session on Tuesday and a session on Saturday. So I combined them. Last week I kind of guessed because of my best session really was up at Back to the Tee and I didn't have the data. So I guessed I was at 93.5 miles per hour on average. This week I know I was at 93.7 in my garage. So that's definitely up a little bit, and we're tending to go the right direction. And the red line down here represents what my target is, and I'm above that. So my swing speed is really I cannot be really more happy than what I'm seeing with swing speed results so far. The distance, well, a little bit different story. It's not all doom and gloom. I wanted to be at 213 yards on average by this point, and I'm currently at 207. But I think I'm getting there. I think I'm closer than this chart represents. So I know that some people might be like, but you're not. That's okay. I don't blame you. But I feel like I'm really getting there. I got a couple of sessions left here with Wade that I think will kind of help me dial some things in. And I'm really focused on doing the right thing. So the speed is coming. I have a feeling the technique's just a little bit behind, and we'll get there. So I went and grabbed a little notebook to write some notes in. So to go over the work that I did last week, I did get a full strength training session in Monday and Friday. So that full strength training for me right now looks like 2 sets of kettlebell swings, 2 sets of dumbbell rows, 2 sets of split squats, and a set of T push-ups. or 2 sets of T push-ups, I should say, and then 2 sets of cross-body V-ups. So that's what I do for my strength training. The mobility training, I stuck with my 90-90s, my open books, my external shoulder rotations. Then I take a band and do some kind of extensions with those as well for mobility. I think on Wednesday, there's one day where I went back and I did some of the mobility training. I have a video on where it's more standing up and a little bit different approach to it. But generally, I've been doing those 90-90s and open books and those external shoulder rotations with a club and a band. I think those things are really helping open me up a little bit and getting some more of that mobility in there. So that's exciting to me. I think things are going well there. I do want to show. I want to show a little bit of data here. So we're going to try something a little bit different here. This is part of the reason I really wanted to share my screen here was to show some of this. So I'm going to change tabs here, and I'm going to be in my session from Tuesday. So this is my 10 best swings. I just deleted the other ones. That's just what I'm doing. So that might make some people a little nervous, but that's my approach. So this is from Tuesday. And my longest carry was 227.6 and I had another one at 224.9, which is why I say I feel like I'm going a decent direction. On these, I had a 96 mile per hour club speed and a 97 mile per hour club speed and pushing 140 mile an hour ball speed. So the things are there. The smash factor on these were also good. I think my launch was okay. Dynamic loft might have been a little bit high. I don't know, but so when I say I feel like I'm getting close, I mean I really do feel like I'm getting close with these things. My dispersion according to these, if I scroll down here a little bit, whoops, my goodness, sorry about that. My dispersion is not bad. It's a little bit right. I don't know how confident I can be in what it's showing on that right now because Garmin has a known issue right now with a recent firmware update that is not getting spin data accurately. So I hit some 9-irons this day as well, and almost every shot was perfectly straight. I doubt that's reality. So up and back to the tee, if I looked from a couple Saturdays ago when I was up there, my pattern was over here. Not bad. It was like almost the same left, but it was just left of center, not instead right of center. So that's just what that was. I'm going to real quick cut over to a video that I recorded just showing the new tees because I got some new tees on Friday and I tested that some tee height things on Saturday. So what I did was I used a 1 1/4 inch tee for I think 10 swings, and then I used 1.5 inch tees for 10 swings. And this video here is just showing what the tees are. And when I come back, I will show you the results. So I'm going to cut away to the garage and then we'll be back. Welcome back to the golf garage. I'm out here. I have, in one of my recent videos, I showed you the tees that I was using. So this is the full tee. This is just, I don't know, $9 for a package of these tees. The brand is Ryushu or something like that. I don't know. Found them on Amazon. They've been working, but I've gone through like 4 or 5 of these with the driver. And I cut this one down to see if they helped me with the tee height on my drives. It seemed to help, but I'm still tearing these things up. So set these off to the side. I ordered these. These are Bertee brand. I ordered these off Amazon. You can buy them from Bertee themselves. Anyways, I ordered a package of these. It has many sizes. I'm interested in these 2 sizes. This is a number 5 and a number 6. So number 5, if you can see that. Not sure you can see that real well in here. The lighting's not great anyways, but number 5 and a number 6. So I believe this is 1 1/4 and this is 1.5 if I remember correctly. So I'm going to take some swings of these today, see how that works, and just see how I feel about these overall. So as a part of my Chasing 230 recap, I will insert this video in there and just kind of give my thoughts on these as a part of my video this week. So thanks a lot for watching. I'm going to take a couple of swings here and we'll get back to you. So we're starting out here with the number 5. The number 5 is the one that I think is closer to the height that I've been using. That's about a 1 1/4 inch. I've done a little bit of stretching. Got myself going here because I'm not a young guy anymore. All right. So here's swing 1 with the number 5, 1 1/4 inch Bertee Golf Simulator tee.
Tee worked well. Hard to find, so we'll have to come find that here in a second. Actually, I see it now. It just went through some things. Not my best swing, to be honest with you, on that first one. That one went off the toe, and that's why the tee went where it did. But normally, I take a whole lot of chip shots before I get going in here. Maybe that's why. All right. Take another swing here. That was a much better swing. So I'm going to mess with these. I'm going to take some swings with 1 1/4 height and some of the 1.5 inch height, and I'll just separate the results of them in my session here today from Awesome Golf, and I will let you know the results.
Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that little quick video there. And what I learned on Saturday was really the 1 1/4 inch tee height was working better for me that day. I don't know if it is the answer, but here's kind of the results from Saturday. My longest carry was 215, 2 of them right in the 215 range. So the balls, my club speed was a little bit lower on my best swings that day. My smash factor was still in the 1.4 area, like not up that 1.5, which is like a perfect driver swing. I'm not going to beat myself too much over about that. So I kind of want to experiment, but I was definitely hitting better with the 1 1/4 inch height. So even though these are a little bit less than last week, I think last week those better swings were also with roughly about the same tee height. I just had the old tees there, so I don't have an exact height on it. So I'm probably going to experiment a little bit more with that this week. I might do some 1 inch, some 1 1/4, some 1.5, just to kind of see where that ends up at. So be curious for anyone who tinkers with their tee heights and their ball positions in your swings. Let me know what you found works for you. It doesn't answer what's going to work for me, but it's of interest. My launch angles were still good here. My dynamic loft was actually a little bit lower. So I don't know. I don't have all the answers. I'm still experimenting and playing and trying to figure this out. But I just thought I'd show some of that, see if they'd be helpful to anyone. It's kind of helpful to me. I don't know exactly what this is yet, except where I know when I make some adjustments, I can see a difference. So that's that. I'll go ahead and stop sharing my screen here. I'm just going to come back here. So I want to real quick just highlight some wins. I didn't hit 230 this week. I didn't last week's update. I hit it twice, maybe 4 times. I really don't have the date in there, but I'm pretty sure I hit it 4 times on that last Saturday up at Back to the Tee. I only hit it. I didn't hit it at all. I got close to it twice, so I'm gonna still count that as a win. My speed is hovering around 95 miles per hour. My average speed this week was 94, so I mean I'm getting there. And I really, kind of as a side note on that one, probably need to be in my practices being able to get north of 100 miles per hour in my swing speed in order to be 90 to 95 on the course. But I'm still working on it, and I'm still figuring out some things and technique to get it there. So overall, pretty encouraged about these things. Challenges this week. I didn't hit any balls from Tuesday through Saturday this week. Part of that was I forgot about a thing on Thursday, so I was in my mind Thursday morning. I was like, oh, I'll just go out after work today because I have time, and I think there's a Red Wings game that night that I was wanting to watch. So I was like, I got time between dinner and the Red Wings game. I can go ahead and just get a session in. And then I was reminded, nope, there's something going on at the school, so I kind of missed Thursday. I don't remember what happened on Friday, but there was something going on Friday that kind of caused me to really not be able to get out as well. So Saturday, after going out and dropping some trees out in the woods with my dad, went ahead and hit some balls, and I don't know if that affected it. I mean, my swing speed was still decent, but I don't know if anything else was affected because I was moving trees. That's just what I was doing that day. So that could have affected it. So I'm not sweating these things too much. That's just part of life. So some adjustments that I'm going to make this week. I don't know if this is necessarily an adjustment, this first one, but I'm going to keep swinging faster. I'm just going to keep swinging faster. I'm going to try to get out, I think, once or twice a day, or not once or twice a day, probably once a day, and just take an iron out. Just take one of my shorter irons, like whether it's an 8 iron or 9 iron, maybe a wedge, and just hit a few balls. Maybe hit 20, 30 balls and not worry too much about getting real far, but just work on that bottom of the swing, that sort of thing, making good contact with the turf and with the ball. Just kind of build in those habits. That's not driver training, but it's going to be something that'll help me, I think, in with the driver and in my game overall. So I think that's something I need to do this week. And then I think I need to really make sure I'm focusing on standing tall in my lead foot at the finish. I did feel like I was leaning back a little bit a couple times with some of my swings last week. I just felt like I was falling back a little bit, which tells me I'm okay. Well, my internet decided to fail right as I was wrapping up the video. So if the editing looks a little weird in this one, there you go. That's what happened. So anyways, just a quick wrap up here. So where I was at, and so you might see this version or the previous version adjustments this week. Keep swinging faster, potentially hit 20 to 30 irons per day this week. I think just on off days to find that turf interaction, find the bottom of the swing, get some consistent ball striking. I know that's not the driver, but I feel like I need to work on that as well. And I think that will also help me with the driver to some extent. So gonna do that and then continue working on standing tall, finishing on my lead foot a little bit better. I felt like I was laying back a little bit on some of my drives last week. So just want to pay attention to that and see. It felt like on some of my better swings, I could definitely felt like I was on my lead foot better at the end of my swing. So another adjustment is soccer season starts. So I coach our girls soccer team at our school that my daughter plays on. And so practices will be starting this week, and I'll have practices and games happening all throughout April and May. So that'll test me a little bit. That'll be a challenge. So I'm curious to see how I navigate that with trying to keep up with doing the practices and getting videos out, that sort of thing. But anyways, that's pretty much a wrap on this week and what's coming up in the future. So as always, if you would likes, comments, shares, all those things are really appreciated. They're helpful for me as I continue to figure out the YouTube thing and making the videos and trying to create some content. So really do appreciate that. And also a reminder that these videos are not just about my chase for a 230-yard carry. This is really about me showing how an everyday golfer can assess their game like I did in this offseason and aim for some goals and create a system to advance towards those goals. And this is just me showing how I'm applying this thing, and hopefully I get the results. I mean, there's no guarantees you get results, but you put in the work and you're more likely to get results than if you don't. So that's where I'm at, and I'm hoping that that's encouraging other people to get out and just put some effort into their game if that's something that they're passionate about or would like to do. And just remember, as always, progress isn't perfect, it's consistent. And I'll see you next week for another update for the chase for 230-yard carry on my driver. Thanks, and have a great week.